Young people in Uganda are rising up against impunity, especially corruption. They are asking and demanding that Anita Among and her cronies should resign. The well-documented cases of corruption in parliament are not only alarming, but they are also depressing, because one thing you must know is that this corruption is incentivized. It has so many layers to it. You have the president of Uganda, in response to the IGG, the Inspector General of Government, who is in charge of identifying corrupt officials, civil servants especially, and bringing them to justice. The president said, and I quote, that at least these corrupt people are investing back into the economy. Yeah, the president of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, said this when Betty Kamya stood and gave a summary of what is happening in her office ever since she was appointed as the Inspector General of Government. So what happens when the fight on the streets is lost because of the extreme brutality and the capability of the military and the police to kill young people, with also news coming out that some of these that have been arrested are actually being grabbed in custody? Yeah. The boys are being sodomized, and the girls, you know what else you could imagine when it comes to this. He was giving recommendations in addressing the rising cases of corruption among public servants. And the president just said, you know what? You have to take it easy, because you remember, at least our corrupt officials, they invested back in Uganda. So for all of us who cannot be on the front line when it comes to this particular fight against corruption, there are so many things that we can do. When the president said that at least Ugandan corrupt officials invest back into the country, then it is important for all investigative journalists to identify these investments. First and foremost, we need to know these investments, all the intimidation tactics to ensure that the spirits of young people are in place. What else are we going to do? By identifying these businesses and the people that are incentivized to ensure that corrupt officials have a leeway in getting away with these acts of misappropriating money, embezzling it, and making it hard for service delivery, to the point that increments in taxes are inevitable just because one person decides to steal money that is supposed to upgrade roads, build hospitals. Just a select few have access to this money, and in turn, they don't even stop there. They take the land of the locals. There are so many layers to this. But at the same time, we are going to these people's businesses and we are patronizing the same thieves that have reinvested into the economy, just like Museveni recommends them to. That as long as they reinvest back in the economy, it is okay. Imagine money that is meant to buy cancer machines in hospitals. These individuals decide to open up resorts. And there we are taking selfies, uploading them up on Instagram. We are oblivious to the fact that our actions are making it even easier for them to channel this money into directions that it is not supposed to be moving. While we are patronizing these businesses, we are the same people that are going to go to Mulago Hospital and the cancer machine is not working. While we are patronizing businesses of corrupt officials and enjoying all the attention we are getting on social media simply because we have showed up, for instance, to a particular cafe that is hot in town, and we are taking coffee and we are going there on dates and we are updating our followers online that, yeah, I also made it to this place. We know these businesses. It is street talk. These are public secrets of which kind of businesses exist in Kampala or within Uganda. These businesses belong to government officials. We need to identify them. We need to stop patronizing businesses of corrupt individuals. The musicians, the musicians, on top of taking money that should be appropriated towards serious government business, these musicians organize concerts, and there you are. Again, either live streaming, making videos, dancing to these musicians' music, while at the same time, the ones that are speaking truth to power are not getting as much attention because we have our priorities mixed up. So I think we that are not capable of being on the streets, or even those that are capable of being on the streets, we need to find every bit of courage in foregoing all the luxuries that these corrupt officials have created, because of course they're the ones that are monopolizing all these businesses and have set up all these entities in Uganda. We need to stop going to music concerts of musicians that are incentivized by government. We know these musicians. We should stop pretending that we do not know these musicians. We should stop pretending that we don't know these entertainers and public figures that we are giving endless audience. Some of you are watching videos of propagandists, and you know very well that these propagandists are making it hard for Ugandans to critically analyze matters. You've witnessed Joel Senyonyi being characterized in a certain way, yet the evidence is not coming. The ones that have been caught in corruption scandals are already arrested. Why aren't they arresting Joel Senyonyi if in case he did really take that money? Why is he still on the floor of parliament if indeed it is true? But yet you're giving these propagandists all your time. And yet you read in between the lines that these people do not deserve any sort of attention when it comes to making sure that we can apply as much pressure as necessary when it comes to discouraging evils against us, against our country. The reality is that the Generation Z, your grandchildren have already been mortgaged. And you don't understand this. Well, this means that the grandchildren of Generation Z have already been mortgaged, in the sense that your grandparents do not have access to land already. They have been kicked off. Their businesses have been destroyed because corrupt officials have infiltrated these businesses. They're also trading and playing in the same field while making it hard for your grandparents to sustain these businesses. They are overly taxed to the point that they can no longer leave your parents any inheritance, which means that your parents have borrowed beyond their capacity to pay off their debts in their lifetime. What does that mean to Generation Z? What does that mean? Well, I think it is very clear for you to see that your grandchildren have already been mortgaged away. The children that you have not even had, that's what it means. Generation Z's grandchildren have already made mortgaged away for the long-term ambition and selfish attitude of the NRM junta. That's what it means.